Hello everybody, I'm TheFrenchMonk and welcome to my first video on Bannerlord. Now the reason I haven't made a video about this game up until now is because, well, according to me, Resonant is the Bannerlord YouTuber and expert and not me. I'm just a guy interested in many games, and one of those games is Bannerlord? Question mark? I don't know, I think I'm getting triggered like most people every time I hear the name Bannerlord and not getting any extra information with it, like a bloody release date. Yeah, I feel like it's just taking a very long time for them to bring us news about when they're going to release the game and such. And yeah, other games came into the picture, you know? Games like Holdfast, Nations at War, and War of Rights, which are games I did make videos about, although the latter one hasn't really convinced me yet. I'm a bit skeptic about the graphics in that one. But anyways, the main reason I made this video was because it was requested by a couple of my subscribers. And the guy that actually made a breakthrough and who managed to convince me into making this video about Bannerlord is none other than Slovak. He's the guy behind the Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord fan group on Steam. That group counts more than 28,000 members, which is absolutely insane. Now you must be thinking right now, okay, what is this video about? You told us, French, you told us that you were gonna talk about Bannerlord, so freaking start talking about Bannerlord right now. I'm gonna press that goddamn dislike button so hard you're gonna Okay, Jesus, alright. Jesus. So, I'll be going over the things that interest me the most, and that we know so far in regards to Bannerlord, and I will do so with the information I've been given by Slovak, and with a little bit of digging of my own. So if you're a diehard Bannerlord fan, I don't think this video doesn't have that much news for you. Just saying before you watch the whole video and decide it's a waste of your time, because you'll probably know all these things already. You have been warned. So yeah, I have here, to make it a little bit easier, a content table with timestamps, so you can go to the parts of the video that interest you the most. Now, let us start with the beginning and the most obvious things. Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Who developed it and what is this game about? TaleWorlds Entertainment is an independent video game development company founded in 2005. The company is located in Ankara, Turkey. They have been developing PC games since their foundation. Their first game, Mountain Blade, was completed in September 2008, and their second game, which was Mountain Blade Warband, was released on March 29, 2010. The third game, they eventually released on May 3, 2011, was Mountain Blade with Fire and Sword. As we all know, the studio is currently working on Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Now I can't tell you anything about the release date because that is unknown, but the developers are trying hard to make sure it will be in the players' hands this year in some form. Now, what is Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord about? Now the game is set 200 years before Mountain Blade Warband, where we are witnessing the last years of the Kelradic Empire, and the rise of the kingdoms from which the Swadians, Rhodoks, Nords, the Khergits and the Serenids all claim to be descended from. Where is it going to take place? Well, Bannerlord shares the setting of Calradia with Warband, but yeah, it takes place 200 years earlier. The map is also expanded to include regions further to the east and the south of that in previous games. This resulting in a map which is about 3 times larger than the one in Warband. Land features and even some settlements from the previous games are recognizable. Now let us dig a little bit deeper in the game and focus on the factions. Let us start from north to south. The Sturgeons, colored blue on the map, they inhabit the northern woodlands and are the lethal ace and swordsmen. They seem to be the ancestors of the Nords faction. The Khuzaids, which are colored brown on the map, they are a steppe tribe and they make heavy use of horse archery. They are also known for the trading cities of the east, and they seem to be the ancestors of the Khergits, as they are a steppe tribe as well, and they have a similar name and similar troops. Left of the Sturgeons we have the Vlandians. They are colored red on the map, and they are a feudal state that specializes in heavy cavalry. This is a tribe whose chieftains have become feudal lords. Now the Vlandians seem to be the ancestors of the Kingdom of Swadia, but there is some speculation that they're also the ancestors of the Rhodoks, as they were originally part of the Kingdom of Swadia. You see, the Kingdom of Swadia and the Rhodoks are neighbors in Warband, as we know already. The Batanians, which are colored green on the map, they are famed for their marksmanship as archers throughout Calradia. They are very deadly in ambushes and forest battles. We then have the Northern, the Western and the Southern Empire. These three have balanced armies of heavy cavalry, infantry, and archers. They aren't really specializing in any particular type of unit. Last but not least, the Aserai, colored yellow on the map. They live in the desert oasis of the south and seem to be the ancestors of the Sarenids based on their location. They combine footmen and horsemen in battle. There are also going to be bandits, of course, groups of people who might attack you depending on the size of your army. You can meet them anywhere on the map, and their weapons and armor depend of course on the location. Now a little bit of information in regards to the changes when we compare Bannerlord to Warband. There is little known except that TaleWorlds claim there will be exciting and highly requested new features. It will include up-close and personal medieval combat on a huge scale. It will be much bigger, bloodier and more intense than ever before. Gameplay related features are also being upgraded, which includes a new inventory interface and better artificial intelligence. The latter one being something that most players are definitely looking forward to, considering the AI in the current Mount and Blade games is not really all that bright at times. Now in addition to providing magnificent battles, a large chunk of the gameplay lies with the map. Bannerlord will provide more information to the player while traveling this map. For example, it's now possible to see what a village produces by looking at the icon hovering above it. These change dynamically over time to reflect different production facilities constructed in the village, or the addition of buildings like castles. There will also be more information given via the HUD. This will include morale, food supplies, gold and so on. I think it's important that they only show the information that's necessary and that they don't try to add any more stuff to the HUD, otherwise they might make it too overwhelming for the player. The siege system is also being improved. By the way, this is one of the things I personally am looking forward to the most. So it's also being improved, and this time based on the player's feedback, with additional tactics being available during sieges, because we all know that the state of sieges in the current Mount and Blade games isn't that great, and it could use some improvement. Now the goal for the developers is to add complexity to the relatively basic system in Warband, but at the same time it's important to avoid breaking that which already works. We all know that the attackers in the Warband sieges are pretty much always at a disadvantage. This varies of course from castle to castle, but they can eventually overcome the defenders with a much larger force. Now by adding flexibility to a siege battle, aka by adding multiple points of entry, there will be potential for the players to use more tactics and not just brute force. A siege battle, from the attacker's point of view, will now start with the deployment phase, where you'll be able to place an array of siege equipment among various fixed positions outside the fortress, so you can prepare your assault. During this phase, it's also possible to form up your troops. These things will enable you to decide how to assault a castle, based on the shape of its walls, or the troop composition of the defending forces. The equipment you place is built beforehand on the overland map, except for the ladders as they are built by default. Ladders are part of a preparation period that is required when beginning any siege. Battering rams will take extra time to build, but they must be pushed into position and still require you to break through the inner gate with regular weapons. The siege tower takes the longest time to construct, but naturally it makes up for its cost by offering that direct route onto the walls. So it's basically up to the player to decide how much time to spend on these siege equipments, and taking into account the food management and wage costs of your party, and the possibility of a reinforcing enemy army arriving. Now we've come to the graphics. Now they have been significantly improved, as we can see in the gameplay trailer. We can see better shading and higher detail models. The character animations are created using the motion capture technology, and the facial animations will also be updated to improve the portrayal of emotions, which is interesting to say the least. Now the developers are working on the faces, because a lot of players message them saying they want to see more immersion and believability in the game, so hence facial animations. Now I'm not going to go into details, but we know that non-verbal communication is pretty important in this case. So the developers are working on this as well, to bring characters to life, as they will now squirm and grin during conversations and depending on the situation. Now these animated faces won't just be visible in conversations, but also in battles, town scenes, feasts, prisons and everywhere else basically. If they manage to implement this in battles, I believe this adds to the fun factor, as you'll be able to see soldiers cry out in fury or in pain, making this a more thrilling experience, and it adds to the believability as requested by the players. Now I think this is a serious step forward from the previous games in the Mount and Blade series, because we know that they all featured faces with no expression whatsoever. Now this may not be important to all players out there, but I myself think it's nice to have a little bit of variation, instead of looking at the same facial expressions over and over and over again. It gets boring. Now in regards to modding, which is another big topic and something I'm looking forward to. As with the previous games of the Mount and Blade series, Bannerlord will also support mods. The developers stated that modding is a primary consideration when developing Bannerlord. Now there's already a list of mods ready for development once the game is released, and you can find this list of mods on the ModDB site for Bannerlord 2. I'll leave a link in the description for those that are interested to see the plans of some of the modders. Thanks to the guide Slovak presented to me on Steam, I've also found a couple of interesting questions on which the developers naturally answered. Now obviously they don't have a release date yet, so if you were hoping for that, again I'm truly sorry. Maybe they'll be able to give us some more information in June in regards to a release date. But as for now, no release date given yet. An interesting question I did manage to find is this one. What is the maximum number of players or AI in the same battle? Now the response to this question is interesting, as it is much more than warband. The developers have an engine capable of dealing with much more troops, but they're trying to balance things out, to make sure the battle is fun and interesting and tactical as well. So in short, they're going for as high as a number as they can, but they can't give us an exact number yet. I feel like more players than Mount and Blade Warband is good, because we know that this game is likely to attract a lot more players than the previous games, so a lot more player slots are of course handy. But I also agree with the developers stating that they're trying to balance things out, making sure that there will be a substantial amount of people on the battlefield, but not that many so that it affects the fun and tactical part of the battle in a negative way. Another interesting question. Does the feudal system in Mount and Blade 2 remain the same as Warband, which is a two-tier system, king and vassals, or is that different? The answer to this question is as followed. Each faction has a monarchic ruler, and then you have the vassals below that. They are still ranked as vassals, but the influence that different lords have in the kingdom is going to be based on whether they are the owner of a town or just the owner of a village. So basically, different lords are going to have different amounts of power, but in the end, they're all lords. Now if you want to stay updated on this game, or if you'd like to talk with other people that share the same interest in this game as you do, there are some sites out there where you can get the updates, or where you can talk about the game. The one I use the most is the fan group on Steam, which is the one managed by Slovak. I'll leave a link in the description down below for those that are interested in joining that community. I also follow Resonant on YouTube, whom is the expert in my opinion on Mount and Blade 2 Bannerlord. He's the one who usually is the quickest on the scene when it comes to Bannerlord updates. There will also be a link to his channel in the description of this video, so make sure to check him out. Then you have the more official ways of staying updated, like the Bannerlord Reddit site, the TaleWorlds forum, and the Mount and Blade official Facebook page. There are also a couple of magazines you can follow, and all these links can be found under the tab Community in the Steam guide made by Slovak. So make sure to check that out, and if you're interested in my videos in regards to the other games being developed at this very moment, make sure to check out my channel. I've also made over 200 Mount and Blade videos with a good variation of mods and gameplay, I would say. Although you get to see me lead a lot of battles as I'm an officer in the Lesgarde Swisses community. There are also other YouTubers featuring in my videos, if you're interested in collabs and all those sorts. So yeah, YouTubers like Pixelated Apollo, Chatopia, and many more feature in some of my videos. So if you're interested in that, make sure to check out my channel. I also do a lot of other fun stuff like Let's Plays and random videos with friends. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you want to share your opinion about Bannerlord, or you have any suggestions on videos I could make sure to leave a comment or hit that like button. That would mean a lot to me, and yeah. I hope you'll all take care, and I will see you in the next video.